Anthony Fantano, also better known as the internet's busiest music nerd or the best thief of a motherfucking game, is one of my favorite YouTubers. Honestly, I fucking love a lot of the shit Anthony puts out. I don't entirely agree with him politically with a lot of things. I don't agree with a lot of people politically, if I'm being honest, but I respect Anthony's content a lot. Ever since I first started watching his reviews when I posted on the music board on 4chan. With that, I grew a lot of respect for Mr. Fantano. So much so that I watch his content to this very day, and probably will continue until he ends his channel one day. Because Mr. Fantano, Anthony, is a very opinionated man, and his opinions work well, I think, in a review format. Unlike a lot of other content creators, Mr. Fantano does his best to show a lot of sides of things that most people probably wouldn't in his community. And he's also a very funny man, especially with some of his reviews like the Not Good series. Listening to him tear apart a shitty album like Speeding Bullet to Heaven is entertaining. And he also was really big into meme culture. And for that, we bring into the topic of today's video, deplatformization when it's not important. There are a lot of people who have been attempted to be deplatformed, I feel, that aren't worth being deplatformed. They didn't do shit that's serious, I feel. And one of them was Anthony's channel, That Is the Plan. Now, That Is the Plan was originally like a throwaway channel for him, and then he started uploading meme content. And the meme content that he put out was really, really fucking good. I want to play some clips from some of my favorite parts here, so I'm just gonna let that go ahead.
Normies don't know how to savor or appreciate or advance memes, so instead they just ruin them for everyone by greedily sucking away their last few drops of relevance just before they dump them on the side of the highway like a brutally violated body wrapped in garbage bags and duct tape. I know you're not a 90s kid, because if you were a 90s kid, you would know that the 90s fucking sucked. We had to pretend soul patches looked good, we had to pretend Pauly Shore was funny, and we had to do the Macarena every hour, on the hour, or we got slimed. Jenna Marbles. I actually I don't have a problem with Jenna Marbles. Is she vegan? I know she was for a while, and then she was off, and then is she back on? Is she vegan again? That'd be cool. Thank God iDubbbz is on YouTube, because he is the only person on this platform that makes my hairline seem not so fucked. Money shot.
Now, the channel was relatively edgy. Understandably so, because edgy content makes sense when you think about memes. Memes itself are relatively edgy, you know? However, some people misconstrued edgy jokes about sometimes political things to thinking that Anthony Fantano, who is notably very, very, very liberal, was an alt-right focused channel. In fact, here's an article from Ezra Marcus from The Fader, or I believe at the time of The Fader. I don't believe he works there anymore. There'll be something on screen if he does. I'm not going to edit it out, because fuck it. But the headline here was, The Needle Drop pioneered music review vlogs. His lesser-known channel was a bid to win the alt-right. He deleted the entire channel when we asked for comments about why it was so bad. Here's the thing. The alt-right is a vaguely loose, at the time especially, was a vaguely loose group of people who had less influence than Fantano. So him trying to win the alt-right or court them would be incredibly moronic, especially for Fantano. Fantano's audience is bigger than a lot of alt-right commentators on YouTube or BitChute or Twitter or anything where they congregate. I'd say Fantano's larger than those groups, personally. That's just me. But we'll go into the article here. The most famous music critic on earth has never written a Pitchfork review. He's never appeared in a Rolling Stone or dropped a blurb in the New York Times. He's a bald vegan from Connecticut named Anthony Fantano, whose thoughts on everyone from Kanye West to Parquet Courts have so far attracted a combined, and this is the time, mind you, 260 million views on his YouTube channel, The Needle Drop. Beloved by his fans for outspoken opinions and early support for acts like Death Grips, he's a bona fide vlogging pioneer. By the way, he doesn't vlog, he makes videos. Vlogging is different. This douchebag didn't understand that. That's fine. In 2017, many music publications are pivoting to Vide. Fantano has been there for years. But as it turns out, music is not this 21st century mogul's only interest. Up until this afternoon, October 3rd, Anthony Fantano had another booming YouTube channel. Practically unknown outside his fan base, but immensely popular within it. So, let's read the logic of this line here. Practically unknown outside his fan base, but immensely popular within it. Does that not read like a little bit of an oxymoron to everybody else? Or is it just me? Like, that makes no fucking sense. Oh, he's trying to court alt-right with this, but it's not popular outside of his fan base. Yeah, that makes me think a little bit. It had nearly 400,000 subscribers compared to the 1.1 million on the Needle Drop. Mind you, this was again at the time this article was written. The Needle Drop has grown since. He started a channel in 2007, initially posting earnest covers of songs by Man and the Mountain Goats. At first, it was little more of an offshoot of the Needle Drop, but increasingly, That Is the Plan took a bizarre life of its own, sometimes with stark contrast in tone. Until today, Fantano updated it regularly, posting dense videos full of references to memes and other YouTube channels you probably haven't heard of. Now, a lot of those references to YouTube channels were Chris Ray-Gun, Filthy Frank, Keemstar. If you hadn't heard of those, then his vocabulary took on a screechy 4chan, capitalized 4chan, that's friendly slant. Video titles from a past year include Pepe for Frog triggers Hillary Clinton, I changed my gender because Donald Trump, and Mega Cuck says Pokemon Go is like dogfighting. He raged against SJWs and feminists video after video, and treated black musicians as a punchline. Yes, like other prominent YouTubers, Anthony Fantano has become an edgelord. Oh, okay, you're gonna need some context for this, because this writer, being a lazy fucking hack, like he is, doesn't give you context for these. They're just links to, at the time, dead videos. So you couldn't have looked at links. The Pepe the Frog triggers Hillary Clinton one was in reference to Hillary Clinton writing an article about Pepe becoming alt-right, which if you watch the video, he clearly says that if this group of people can co-opt Pepe, then another group of people could re-co-opt Pepe and do something completely different with Pepe than what these people are doing.
This meme has been shared by celebrities and meme fans alike. Literally millions of people have seen it outside of the context of this white supremacy movement trying to take the meme back. So you're telling me that within the span of like a couple months, like 30 or so people have essentially turned this meme that was previously enjoyed by millions into a white supremacist symbol? I mean, that's not really how memes work, because if it was, then I simply could, using the hashtag Make Pepe Great Again, because there are definitely 20 to 30 people in my audience willing to do this, associate Pepe instead of with Nazi propaganda, Allied Powers propaganda. We could have Uncle Sam Pepe, Rosie the Riveter Pepe, buy war bonds Pepe.
The I changed my gender because Donald Trump one was, even in Fantano's own words, making fun of people who thought that because Trump is a man, that other men should feel guilty for things that Trump does, which you shouldn't, because it's fucking moronic.
Another video where I lampooned the idea of changing your gender because of Donald Trump, because I was responding to another video that insinuated that as a man you should feel ashamed that Donald Trump is a guy and you're a guy, as if I'm somehow responsible or feel some kind of connection to him through his masculinity, which I don't. I just think he's a scumbag.
And Mega Cuck says Pokemon Go is like dogfighting. I feel like that was PETA. I feel like he was just making fun of PETA. But yes, he raged against people that were being moronic. And in the black musicians is a punchline. The only black musicians that he ever did parodies of in his videos were J. Cole, who's gotten better over time. I'm not gonna say he's good, but better. XXXTentacion, which at the time, especially when that video was made, his fans were completely obnoxious. I say this as someone who listened to his music a little bit. And Hobson, Hobson is a fucking joke. I'm sorry. I know people that like Hobson, and I would not trust him alone in a room with anything valuable. But yes, Fantano was a little edgy on his channel. And this guy even posts a screenshot from me, Hobson is the greatest rapper video, where someone is hanging themselves with toilet paper. And that's a joke. I'll even let Fantano himself explain it here.
This photo is this photo of me during a video where I'm parodying Hobson fans. And the full reveal of this photo is this. The man is hanging himself with toilet paper. Toilet paper, not a noose. Which, if you didn't know, has been a pretty viral internet meme over the past year or so. Kids blowing up on platforms like the now defunct Vine, just kind of hanging themselves with toilet paper in the bathroom and like dropping off of their bathtubs. And off of sharing this meme, you're going to insinuate that I'm an alt-righter and that I'm racist and I want people, specifically black people, to be hurt.
He's referenced constantly on the 4chan music board MU and has been known to frequent it himself. The 4chan affiliated wiki site Encyclopedia Dramatica crowned him the king of MU, and in 2014 he appeared on the platform for an Ask Me Anything. MU is a complex environment. Many people on it are serious music fans who also care about the scores he awards on records on the needle drop. They are also steeped in the shock jock culture of 4chan. Over time, Fantano had begun explicitly catering to the latter crowd sensibilities. His 2 channels allowed him to serve that audience from multiple angles, maximizing engagements, clicks, and profit. Now, as someone who has spent a lot of time on MU and a lot of time on boards like V and VG, Fantano didn't cater himself necessarily towards MU. MU was talking about him, sure, and yes, he used MU, but a lot of people can tell when people are shilling to a board. You'll see it on especially V most, but when people post their own videos on a 1 subscriber account with 0 views and 2 dislikes, they can tell when people are shilling. MU found him. They sought his content before he ever posted anything there himself. I can't understand why that's a bad thing. You know, 4chan, a lot of it is edgy, sure, but that's only on boards like B and Pole and stuff like that. There's some edginess on other boards, but it's not the main thing. You'd have to be a fucking moron who never went to MU or to V, VG, VP, other boards. You genuinely have to be a moron who's never went to those boards to assume the entire website is edgy. I'm pretty sure the cooking board doesn't tell you how to cook human flesh, is what I'm saying. This is fucking moronic. We'll continue with the article, though. That is, until today, when Fantano removed all videos on That Is the Plan except for one, a 30-second clip of YouTube's monetization logo. In a series of tweets, he explained the decision to end the account as a result of YouTube's controversial demonetization algorithm, which, based upon confusing and secretive criteria, takes away the ability for uploaders to earn income from certain videos deemed inappropriate for advertisers. He'd recently set up a That Is the Plan Patreon looking to crowdsource income outside YouTube. But he tweeted out that he'd be refunding donors and shut that page down too. With the content offline, the discussion moves away from content to center around free speech and rights of creators. It's a savvy move, which the writer, in his glorious wisdom, seems like this is a gotcha. Well, of course, you know, demonetization can really hurt some people's motivation for making a channel. But for me, it doesn't, because a lot of my shit is demonetized anyways. But yes, it's understandable why Fantano was like, maybe I just don't want to continue this because of all this shit. And it doesn't help when you, like a fucking, you know, vulture or a shark, smells blood in the water to get some clicks for your fucking hack rag, Ezra. Today, nearly every online outlet focusing on music has some kind of socially conscious slant. That is where most artists stand and most readers too. While the needle drop covers a similar beat like sites like The Fader and Pitchfork, it exists in a totally different context. The surprisingly conservative world of YouTube. Okay. Alright. A community of monologists, essayists, performers, and vloggers who, among many other ideals, deplore social justice warriors who they credit with ruining popular culture. From PewDiePie to Paul Joseph Watson, anti-social justice views are de rigueur among popular YouTubers. These are Fantano's true colleagues in competition, not the lefty vloggers who traditionally covered music, and he has adapted to their world awkwardly. Well, yes, there's a lot of people that aren't fans of the people that would be considered social justice warriors. And people have their rights and opinions. I cannot blame people for not liking people that get considerably upset at things that are trivial. There's a difference between social justice and social justice warriors. But when you get mad at video games for dumb reasons and movies and TV shows for dumb reasons, when they're just pieces of content and sometimes their message literally doesn't mean more than surface level shit, yeah, maybe you got a problem. I'm sorry. That's my opinion. In September, this was, I believe, 2017, September, PewDiePie, the most subscribed vlogger on YouTube, goes to show here just how much this writer knows about PewDiePie, the most subscribed vlogger on YouTube, used the N-word during a video game stream and set the YouTuber community on fire, although it wasn't a huge surprise to anyone familiar with his recent work. In response, Fantano released a 10-minute video called Why I Don't Use the N-Word, on the needle drop. It's a calm, thoughtful video. It's a matter of respect, and it's a matter of understanding, he says. It's especially important to me because of my line of work that I'm regularly stepping into, interacting in, and engaging in predominantly black spaces. It's just not really cool. I feel like someone who is white, I don't feel like I can step into the house of hip-hop and do whatever the fuck I want. That respectful sentiment towards the quote-unquote house of hip-hop didn't seem to extend to his post on That Is the Plan, however. On the needle drop, he tries to give rap albums extensive patient analysis. But on That Is the Plan, he served up straight parody. No shit, you fucking moron. Some of his most disturbing videos are in a series that includes XXXTentacion is the greatest rapper, J. Cole is the greatest rapper, and Hopsin is the greatest rapper. The gag is simple. He pretends to rap in the style of these artists. In order to impersonate Hopsin, Fantano says you just have something around your neck, Keck, just on the verge of choking you to death as you read Hopsin lyrics. Here he throws in little Easter eggs for 4chan heads. When his voice is edited to say Keck, a background image of Shrek with the title Photoshop to read Keck appears. Keck is a popular 4chan meme. Now, Keck was everywhere at this time, but here's the thing. It's a variation of lol, or lel, or hedge, or a ton of other ones. In fact, I'll let Fantano even say it for himself here.
The writer also tries to imply that I have some kind of ridiculous connection to this cult of Keck bullshit, because the word Keck appeared in one of my meme videos, because it's a bastardization of the word LOL, which there have been many versions of over the years, LEL and LUL, but of course there's nothing to that, so all he can show is this screenshot.
And you know, we talked about the choking thing, which is brought up again here. Fantano wraps a cord around his neck while an image of a black guy with a white noose around his neck appears behind him. Next, we see a background of another black person being choked right as Fantano says the words "choke to death." He's playing the specter of black suicide and death for laughs. Which, I don't feel like the writer is smart enough to understand what this person, what he just said. So I'm just gonna let that linger in your guys' heads for a minute. No, two people being choked, just because they're black, does not mean he's playing the specter of black suicide and death for laughs. Oh, buckle up. A series of images flash behind him. Black faces warped in Photoshop. Black figures holding guns. Cartoon monkeys. A clip from the racist Disney cartoon Steamboat Willie. Poop in a toilet. Fantano launches into a nonsense soliloquy about hugs and drugs. Don't do hugs. Well, don't do drugs, do hugs. As the background scene shifts, Fantano's in jail, then he's screaming on the floor in a mental asylum. A direct reference to Hopsin's highly publicized struggles with suicide and mental health. Now, I'm going to play that clip for you, because fuck it, why not? You may as well see it just so you know the context of what this person's saying.
Let me spit you a few more bars over here. This comes from one of my favorite Hopsin songs, Ill Mind of Hopsin, 23. It's about a friend of his who betrayed him because he did drugs, and Hopsin does not like it when people do drugs. You did drugs. You betrayed me. I can't believe you did drugs. I said, hey, don't do those drugs. Don't do them. Don't do those drugs. Drugs are for thugs. Get hugs instead. Don't do drugs. Do hugs. Don't do hugs. Do drugs. The hugs got me to the drugs. The hugs were a gateway drug to the drugs. The drugs don't like me. I don't like your drugs. Your drugs. I don't like your hugs because you did drugs. I am the darkness creeping through your system. Lash out and snap every bitch into position. Twinkle, twinkle, little drug. How I wonder why you do drugs. Stop doing drugs. Stop doing drugs. Stop it. Please stop doing it. I'm begging you.
Well, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to save reading the second part of this for another video at another time, because there's a lot I want to go over through with the second part of this article, but I don't want to spend the entire time on this today, because I want to talk about one more thing, which I sort of brought up, I think, earlier. I hope I brought up. It's a thought of going after people who haven't done things I feel are worthy of genuine deplatformization. Now, I've made many videos on Onision And I made videos on people like Austin Jones, Bud A. And those people, the people that have done genuinely fucked up shit, are the kinds of people that should be deplatformed. Going after Fantano because he made some edgy jokes is horribly fucking dumb. And it is the wrong target. If you believe you're in the right to the gentleman Ezra, who still has a job in the writing industry after this article, which I will link down below. It is linked down below in the description there. But going after people like Mr. Fantano is a horrible idea, because Fantano is liked by people. Fantano is genuine. When you watch his reviews, when you watch his, content and his Let's Argue stuff, he is an honest man. He has his opinions, he has his ideas, and him making some edgy jokes is nothing. It's pathetic that people would go after him for making... When you watch That Is the Plan channel, or when you watched it, which I will link to a whole bunch of re-uploads. By the way, if anybody knows the last few uploads that aren't on the Lost Media Wiki, if you have them on your hard drive, please upload them for the people. Just something I wanted to bring up here. But, targeting people like him with no evidence of any genuine alt-right association is scummy. It's also kind of why I didn't talk about a couple other topics that happened this year, like the pro-Jared controversy, or the Slazo controversy. And that's because when I looked at them, the evidence didn't hold up to a lot of scrutiny, so I was like, I'm gonna hold back, wait for more. The pro-Jared one, obviously he did send nudes to fans, and the big allegation other than him cheating was that he had sent nudes to underage fans. The thing there fell out when under scrutiny, when you really looked at it and you're like, okay, there's something off about all that. And those allegations fell by the wayside. The big one was Slazo. I had a few people genuinely asking me to make a video about Slazo. And when I looked into it, I was like, there was something off about all that. And no fault to a lot of people who believed Shade. Because obviously, you want to believe someone who does come out as a victim. The big problem I have is people who try to abuse genuine victimhood. I have friends who have been victimized by awful people. And if those people were public figures, I would go after them. I'd hunt them, pretty much, essentially. But, the people that do fake things like that, like the pro-Jared stuff and the Slazo stuff, hurt people that shouldn't be canceled. And then people like this, people like Ezra, the writer of this article, when people like this make smear campaigns against people who edgy jokes are not a bad thing. I'm sorry. But when people go after people like that, it sucks to see. There are genuine abusers and predators, people like Onision, people like Real Stream News, Bud A, people like Austin Jones, who take advantage of, girls and people and situations, and even monetary, goals, essentially. Like begging people for super chats in your fucking live stream. Those are the kind of people that should be targeted. Anthony Fantano, so what? He made a couple jokes that are off kilter. I will take a billion Anthony Fantanos over one Onision, one Real Stream News, any day of the week. Even with edgy jokes, even with some fucked up shit in the videos, that's not a problem. It's not a bad thing. It's horrifying that essentially Fader 1 allowed this article to be put up. The shittiest music rack. And 2, that Ezra thought this was a good idea. And hopefully one day Ezra gets his just desserts in his career, which is to say hopefully it goes fucking nowhere, stalls and stops. But Fantano didn't deserve this, I feel. With that, that is the end of the video. We're going to cut to the outro, which will be recorded on the first of the month, actually. So this is when everybody's got the Patreon payments coming out, so... Hey. And with that, we end our video. Now, this video is sponsored by my wonderful patrons. If you want, you can join in the description down below, or there should be a little card at the end here. But we're just going to get into reading off the patrons and go from there. So at our $10 tier, we have both Amaret and Fee. At our $4.99, we have Aslan, Ichi, Selkakiti, gonna screw that one up every time, and Union 573. And at our $1 patrons, we have Sydney, Charlie, Lyra, Seb, Stephen Mayer, and the Bean of England. And I thank you guys for putting up with the current content schedule. It's a little all over the place, I know, but we're gonna try to get more out, especially next month, since I've got a whole 2-week break, so we're gonna have more streams, more stuff. Hopefully even a film review, because I'm looking at a couple movies that I feel like I could do a pretty scathing review on, so that's That's something slated for the future here. And with that, I will send you guys off into the next month before we hit 2020. Which is so close, it's not even funny. Probably gonna have maybe like a New Year's Eve or New Year's Day stream, not entirely sure. So, if you liked this video, hit like. If you didn't like it, hit dislike. It does the same thing in the algorithm. That's a pro tip for you. Hit subscribe, the little bell icon down there as well. Hit that to all so you get all of my notifications. Comment down below if you liked it as well. I will see you guys sometime this month, and start prepping for 2020 on the channel. So take it easy. See you guys later.